Welcome to the Couple-preneurs Show, helping couples in business develop structure and strategies that nurture the balance between business and home, bringing you interviews and insights to give you the secret sauce of power couples. Here are your hosts, Oscar and Kaya Frazier.
Business owners, entrepreneurs, couple-preneurs, people that are afraid to get into business. If any of those things sound remotely like you, this show is absolutely for you. Today, I'm super excited. We've got a very good guest that's coming on with us today. But before we introduce him, let's first jump into Kaya and walk through some of our sponsors.
All right. So we have Carolina Runners. They are a family-owned trucking company. Owner-operators out there that are looking for an authority, please make sure that you check them out at carolina-runners.com. And then we also have Talk Shirt to Me, shirts that speak and help you express your style. They've got all these cool slogans and sayings. Go out there on talkshirttome.com and order your t-shirt today.
Look at you, man. You are showing out today. We're just flowing through that. Man, okay. So before I introduce our guest, let me give a quick background of why I think this is a very, very special guest that we have. So I started smoking cigars back in, I think, 2005. And my first cigar was an Alpha Wente 858. And I remember when I first smoked it, I was hooked from there on out. And since that time, I've seen the cigar community, morph into more of like a brand, if you will. And now it's a bit more of like a movement where you get a lot of people coming in and going out. But what I really have a lot of respect for about the particular guy I'm about to introduce is the fact that he already came in with a lot of sales and management experience, right? So him coming in into this game and changing the game from what I've observed has been quite remarkable. So without further ado, let me introduce to all of you Mr. Sedrick Dunson. Cedric, how's it going, man?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Right, all that good stuff. So look, Cedric, man.
I never know where I'm coming or going. So
hey, man, trust me, I can totally relate.
The life of an entrepreneur.
Well, Cedric, I know that a lot of people know you as quote unquote that guy. So I definitely would like to understand a little bit more about you, how you got your brand started, and what are some of the things you're doing now?
Well, Sedrick Dunson, come from very humble beginnings. Grew up in Goldsboro, North Carolina, North Carolina State, Wolfpack graduate. And I have over 25 years of sales experience. And that's what kind of led me to want to do something as an entrepreneur. Because one of the things that I began to see as my career went along is that, I feel very highly and pretty confident about myself. So I was just wondering, why do I have all this skill set and all this experience and I'm making someone else money? I'm furthering someone else's career, helping them with their lifestyle instead of doing something that can further my own and or build legacy for my family. And so that was one of the things that kind of led me to wanting to do something on my own. And so what I did was I came up with the cigar brand. It's called Phat Ash. And, and we're all grown, so it is kind of a play off of ash. But in the same token, holding your ash of your cigar does have some significance, because as you hold the ash of your cigar, it helps it burn more evenly. It helps it burn cooler. So therefore, it is important to hold the ash of your cigar. So it is kind of a play on what it does have some significance there. And so what happened was after my youngest son graduated from high school, my wife is a IT consultant, and she normally would leave on Sunday, come home on Thursday, leave on Sunday, come home on Thursday, throughout my youngest son middle school and high school career. So as he was graduating from high school, we sat down and said, well, hey, why don't I just go on the road with you? And she said, yeah, that's a great idea. So we agreed to go on the road with her. And so at the time, I was still a consultant for a local copier company I was working for. I was in the copier industry for over 14 years. But I still felt like I was going to need something to do, because I felt like that was just going to be something that was temporary with regards to me managing accounts in Atlanta. And, you know, when I left, I went on the road with her. We went to New Jersey, we went to North Carolina, we went to New York, and then we spent about 10 months in Louisville, Kentucky. And so I started I sat down November of 2018. Our date to leave was January 19, 2019. And so I came up with the name, worked with the company, came up with the logo, and then I had a soft launch in January of 2019. And the soft launch was just kind of to see how the brand would be received. It was received very well. And so that's where I started. I started out with two shirts, a black and a white shirt and a black and a white sweatshirt. And I started from there. And over time, I mean, when I look at all the sizes, all the different colors, all the different products, I mean, now I've grown my product line to over 750 items that are on my website. And also, worked very diligently in starting a Facebook community as well. So I have a Facebook group that has over 17,000 members that I've grown since March of 2019. And, you know, from there, the brand is just growing. I just added a cigar to my product line about a month and a half ago. And I'm just out trying to make a mark in this cigar lifestyle.
Wow, man. Yeah. As a person that has witnessed, you know, your social media presence literally take off. I mean, I've always been impressed with what you got going on across that side, you know, as well. If you can, like talk to the listeners around, you know, starting the business and balancing it with family, because I heard you say about how your wife was in consulting and she was traveling, and me and Kai were over here kind of chuckling, because we were in the consulting world for a number of years, man. And we know that can be just, I mean, it can take a toll on a marriage, man, because you're traveling and you're trying to build a business. So talk to us a little bit about that, man. How did that go for you guys?
Well, I mean, if I can be brutally honest.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
When you're starting a business, there's really no such thing as balance. Depending on the level of success that you want to have and the time period that you want to have that success. So really it comes down to understanding, it comes down to sacrifice, and it comes down to commitment. So those are the things that we talk through and realize that there was going to be some sacrifice in the short run so that we can make it better in the long run. Because there are many of hours that I'm up to 2-3 o'clock in the morning, right back up at 7-8 o'clock, you know, steady on the grind. But we realize that there's a lot of, you know, work that you have to do very early on if you're going to grow it organically, depending on the success that you want to have. And so with that, it just comes down to consistency. And that's one of the things as I talk to other entrepreneurs, you know, you have to be consistent. I mean, you have to do what you said you're going to do it well, and do it often. And it's very difficult to build a social media presence if you don't have consistency. I mean, because people are always sitting back waiting for you to stop, or when are they going to fall off, and they don't want to get engaged, or they don't want to necessarily know if they should support or whatever the case, because they don't know if you're going to be here for the long haul. And I mean, if you show them that you're consistent and you're there in their face, and you consistently have impressions daily, then that lets you know that not only do you support what you're doing and you're buying into what you're doing, then they feel like they can support and buy in too. And so that's one of the things that I've just learned from my years of sales experience, and my degree is business management and marketing. So those are just some of the things and some of the tools that I've used to kind of do that. But going back to family, it takes sacrifice and it takes commitment. But then over time, we've seen that get better. I mean, because there were times when, we'll go a couple of weeks and don't even have dinner together because I'm working, then I'm out, doing events, meeting with people in the social arena or whatever the case. And, sometimes we have to pull away and say, hey, let's start up time to spend some time together. But then in the end, we know when we kind of see the cause moving forward and we kind of began to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we began to see those, see the growth that we're kind of looking for. And then we kind of say, okay, it is working and it's worth it. And so then you kind of set aside those pockets of time where you can make sure that you have more time to spend together and, sit around and watch a movie and have dinner. I mean, now there was a time we would rarely eat dinner together. So now, we eat dinner together maybe 6 nights a week, because we kind of seem to grow where it needs to be. And so we're at that point where we can kind of sustain. But it is a lot very early on, depending on the degree of success that you want to have in the time period that you're looking for. And I mean, I just have very high goals, and I wanted to have a very big impact very early on. And so that's the reason why I put a lot of time and energy and effort in it very early on.
That's wonderful. Like 2 key nuggets to take out of that, what you just said, is understanding, or for our listeners, is understanding that there are going to be some sacrifices that you're going to have to make, and you need to get transparent with your partner or whoever you're operating with, and understand that those sacrifices are going to have to be made. And then also being consistent, right? Staying that course, even though you might run into some hurdles, even though things might get tough, just being consistent and trying to put out good services or good products. I think those are 2 key takeaways from what you just said that I can really appreciate, Sedrick.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, because one of the things, and I again, being brutally honest, oftentimes in our community, we're known as we don't always have the best customer service. So having a great product without good customer service, it doesn't mean anything. Therefore, customer service is extremely important. Communication is extremely important. If you're not going to be able to deliver when you say you're going to deliver, just communicate that. Most people are understanding and very forgiving. But then the thing is to go deep and silent. People don't understand that, and then they begin to not want to do business with you, or they'll talk against you in your business. And we have to also know that in the world of social media, it's very easy to get a very good name, even though it takes a lot of hard work to get a good name. But it's even easier to get a bad name when we look at social media, when we look at texting, when we look at email, when we look at different means of communication. So that's why customer service is one of the biggest qualities that we have to have when we start looking at starting a business and running a business, because we've just been known time and time again to not have that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, and speaking candidly, just as you are, a lot of times, especially in the cigar community, you have so many pop-up companies that come and go, man. I mean, someone will come up today. I bet right now, if we were to Google or go on Facebook and do a search for like cigar, you'll probably have 1,000 different pages, 1,000 different brands, all those kind of things. Like, so what really differentiates? I think I know the answer because I've followed you for quite some time, and I heard you say about customer service. But is there anything that you could pinpoint to say why the Phat Ash brand has been able to acquire 17,000 members, and some others that come in, perhaps they're not able to have such longevity and success?
Well, when I started the group, I wanted it to be something that would kind of represent my personality, and that is I'm an only child. By my mom. I'm an only child. And so when I grew up, I either had to do one of 2 things. I had to get along with everybody, or I had to know how to fight. And I didn't want to fight. So I learned how to get along with people. And so therefore, when I started the group, I wanted to be something that was very engaging, very family oriented, very, very fun, very fun loving. And I think that that's one of the biggest things, how the community, how my Facebook community has grown. It's just from that. But then in addition to that, we keep it all about the cigar. We try to keep it all about the love of the leaf. And that's where some groups kind of get off a little bit and say, you know, we're talking about politics, we're talking about guns, we're talking about religion, we're talking about relationships. And there's a place on time for that. But then if we are a cigar group, we want to stay focused on the love of the leaf. And so I think that coupled with the fact that, you know, the engagement, the fun loving, I think that's one of the things that really kind of help us to grow and sustain. I mean, we normally average adding about 1,000 people a month to the group. And when people come in, we really just try to show everyone love. We try to communicate and talk with everyone. And I have to always give kudos to the admins of my group. I have about 20 admins in my group, and they do a very good job of running the hem. They do a very good job of making sure that the page is well represented with cigar lifestyle things, and then also they're very good engaging with the overall members. And so that's one of the reasons why I think that the group has had success, and then that's one of the reasons why people buy into the group, but then also buy into the brand. And I think that was the thing that I did. I started by branding the group, and then the brand just kind of took off from there. So it was kind of hand in hand, but one kind of washed the hand of the other.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and again, as a member of that group, I've seen it. I've seen how you all keep the actual brand and keep like the conversation where it needs to be. Because there's certainly other pages and groups that I've gone on that I'm also a member of that I very seldom go on the pages because it's everywhere. I mean, you might see 10 different topics and none of them are about a cigar, you know, and so I absolutely appreciate what you're doing. Now, I think I heard you say that you're starting a cigar, or you already have a cigar brand that you're coming out with? You have out?
Yes, I released my cigar probably about a month and a half ago, and it's called the PA. You know, it's had pretty good success thus far. It's a Toro in size. It's considered a full flavored medium. Okay. So the thing, and the reason why I wanted to blend this particular cigar is that I smoke a lot in the morning and in the afternoon. And what I've learned in my cigar walk is that you should smoke your mild and your medium cigars in the morning and smoke your full body at night. And so I was thinking, if I'm going to blend a cigar, I need to smoke something when I smoke the majority of the time, you know? So it is. It's a full flavor medium. It's called the PA. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian Habano. It's a Nicaraguan binder, and the filler is Jalapeno and Estella. So the thing is that it's not very heavy. It doesn't have a really tobacco-y kind of taste to it. So therefore, people who smoke your flavored or your infused cigars, it's a great transitional cigar for them. It's also a great cigar for those who basically smoke their mild and their mediums. And the thing that I found for my full body cigars, it's a great cigar for them to smoke in the morning with coffee. And that was something else. It's a great cigar that you can kind of pair with anything. I smoke it a lot with coffee, also with whiskey and bourbon. But so far, the overall response has been very well.
Wow, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my hands on one of those, for sure. Now, are we able to order the cigars online yet, or is it something we need to do in person, or how do we get one of those sticks?
Yeah, the cigar it's a cigar tab on the website, www.phatashcollection.com. Right now, I'm just doing a 3 sample pack of 3 for $34, and that includes shipping. I'm in the process of getting my box designed, and then I will go to box sales, and then after I design the box, then I'll probably start looking for some select lounges to carry the cigar.
That's excellent, man. Well, yeah, being in Atlanta, I'm sure there'll be plenty of shops that would gladly pick it up if they haven't already done it. I'm sure that it's going to be coming for sure, man.
have been some lounges that have tried it and really enjoyed it. Just initially, I released it to the group only. It was an exclusive item just for the group because I wanted them to be the first ones to try it, to give them some good feedback on it, and they really did an outstanding job.
Excellent. Okay, good deal, man. Well, I know that you and I and Kai, we probably could sit here and talk about this subject for hours, man. But I want to keep everything kind of concise, and I think that the listeners have, at least I know I've learned a lot about not just your brand, but like some of those woes of getting into branding and trying to get into the market and learning how that balance with family can be. So definitely hats off to you. So one of my final questions to you is, for people that want to learn more about your brand or to buy some of your products, where would they go?
The website is www.phatash, that's Phat Ash, ASH, collection. That's no S on the end. So Phat Ash Collection. And then also on IG, I'm at Phat Ash Collection on IG.
Excellent, man. Excellent. And we'll be sure that we have all that, the links and such inside the show notes to make sure that people can easily get access to you. Well, Kai and I are smiling ear to ear over here, man. We definitely, I know that the listenership is going to really appreciate this conversation. Sedrick, hang tight. We're going to go ahead on and wrap up here, but I want to definitely chop it up with you a little bit more right after this.
Okay, real good. And I really appreciate both of you having me on, and it's been a great experience, and it's always love to have an opportunity to share and talk about the brand, but then also spend some time with some folks that are making moves.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, sir, man. We appreciate
you being here.
Hang tight. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Couple-preneurs Show. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.kothoughtleaders.com.